going to share with you guys a little writing that I did, really thinking and praying about the question of this salvific love, this ontological love, and how can we practically understand it and apply it in 2022 to face the problems that we are facing today. So it's going to be some that I wrote, and then I'm going to do a pretty long quote from St. Maximus the Confessor here. So the solution to the problems of the world are found in the very structure of the ancient mystic Christian church and its ethos rooted in salvific love. Now, it's this salvific love that I really want to zoom in on. This ontological love finds its expression, paradoxically, in the cross. Practically, this love is cultivated through prayer, fasting, and so on, by a contrite heart rooted in the forgiveness of friends and love of one's enemies. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. This isn't exactly what it seems. It's not like some stingy God is threatening you to forgive others or else. This isn't a threat. It's structural and fundamental to our understanding and playing out of our human drama. In projecting our human understanding of this divine concept, we fall short. This clarification I am attempting here necessarily falls short. This is why we turn to the saints. Now, how does this relate, let alone solve our problems here in 2022? Perennial problems of hatred, oppression, censorship, jealousy, envy, anger, rage, and so on, but now amplified and mass distributed at light speed into our minds and hearts. This kenotic love, this self-emptying love of Christ crucified, applied practically to friends, neighbors, strangers, and most importantly, enemies, done sincerely and prayerfully, is the love that St. Maximus the Confessor spoke about most beautifully. And on this point, quote, Maximus the Confessor indicates some attitudes that make it possible to triumph over hatred, realizing that every refusal to forgive deprives us of Christ, preventing aggressive impulses from expressing themselves in words, in argument, in self-justification, in the sort of psychological analysis that on the pretext of objectivity or lucidity reduces the mystery of the other person and becomes a subtle means of destroying him, a shrewd form of malice. Also, not avoiding what annoys or threatens us by trying humbly and gently to clear up the misunderstanding, and if that is not possible, taking the other person into one's prayer, keeping silent, absolutely refusing to speak evil of him. Only so can crucified love, secretly victorious, triumph over the depth of hatred in us that we need to recognize, fight against, reduce, and transform by grace. Again, from St. Maximus the Confessor from Centuries on Charity, he says, quote, "Has your brother been an occasion of trial for you? Has your annoyance led you to hatred? Do not let yourself be defeated, but triumph over hatred by love." Now apply this quote fractally through to our current challenges of social media and the amplification of these perennial problems and vices. I'll start again. Quote, "Has your brother been on occasion of trial for you? Has your annoyance led you to hatred? Do not let yourself be defeated, but triumph over hatred by love." This is the way to do it, by praying to God sincerely for him, by accepting the excuses others make for him, or by constituting yourself his defender, by taking responsibility for your trial on yourself and bearing it with courage until the cloud, alas, has lifted. Be careful. If you were praising the goodness and proclaiming the virtue of someone yesterday, do not disparage him today as wicked and perverse, just because your affection has turned to aversion. Do not seek by blaming your brother to justify your culpable aversion, but continue faithfully praising him, even if you are overcome with annoyance, and you will soon return to a wholesome clarity. Never wound your brother with ambiguous words, lest he pay you back in your own coin, and both of you depart from the sentiments of charity. But with the frankness of friendship, go and reprimand him, and with the causes of trouble removed, you will both be delivered from distress and bitterness. A soul that nourishes hatred against anyone cannot be at peace with God. If you do not forgive people their trespasses, he says, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. If the other will not make peace with you, you at least, for your part, must guard yourself from hating him, and pray for him sincerely without speaking ill of him to anyone. The whole purpose of our Lord's commandments is to rescue the spirit from chaos and hatred and lead it to love of him and love of one's neighbor. From this springs forth, like a flash of lightning, holy knowledge. Close quote. So it appears to me, in reading and attempting and failing to understand the lives of and the minds of the saints, that the Orthodox ethos, with its praxis of asceticism, purification, and illumination, gives us the path, the capacity to realize and share this agapic love. This is not an ideology. This is not some system to be taught propositionally to others. This is a personal choice derived from tradition to follow Christ and allow the fruits of the spiritual work to light a path for self and others to struggle with together in communion. And in doing so, draw ourselves ever closer to our Father who art in heaven. Thanks for listening.